You know that feeling, right? Your heart's pounding, your mind is racing, a big deadline is staring you down, or you just got one of those emails. It feels like you're just a passenger on a runaway train. But what if I told you that you had a toolkit based in actual neuroscience to grab the controls the second that stress hits? Well, today, we're diving into the work of Stanford neuroscientist Andrew Huberman to build that exact toolkit, practical, science-backed tools you can use right now.
All right, so let's just start with the biggest question of all. We're all taught that stress is the enemy, something we have to avoid, to crush, to eliminate. But is that really the whole story? Is every jolt of adrenaline just bad for you? The science, it turns out, paints a much more interesting picture.
So here's the big reframe from Huberman. Stress is not a bug in your system, it's a feature. He says it's a generic system. Think of it like a universal go button, designed to get your brain and body ready for, well, for anything. It's the same system that kicks in whether you're lifting a heavy weight, focusing on a final exam, or, running from a lion. It's your all-purpose kit for rising to a challenge.
Okay, Section 1, stress is a system. So if we want to learn how to control this thing, we've got to understand the basic parts, right? Let's look at the two main modes your body is running on at any given time.
The easiest way to think about this is like a car. Your autonomic nervous system, that's the part that runs everything on autopilot, it has a gas pedal and it has a brake pedal. The gas pedal is your sympathetic nervous system. Its whole job is to rev you up, to get you alert and ready for action. And the brake, that's your parasympathetic nervous system. Its job is to do the complete opposite, to calm you down, to help you rest and recover.
So what happens when you slam your foot on that gas pedal? Well, your body goes on high alert. You get a shot of adrenaline. Your heart speeds up, pumping oxygen to your muscles. Your vision literally narrows. You get that tunnel vision to sharpen your focus, and stuff that's not essential for survival right now, like digesting your lunch, your body hits pause on that. All your energy is diverted to one thing: moving.
And then there's the brake, the parasympathetic system, which, as you'd guess, does the exact opposite. It slows your heart down, it relaxes you, and it gets that rest and digest stuff back online. But here's the really cool part. This whole calming system is largely controlled by one huge nerve called the vagus nerve. And get this, it has critical connections in your face, your neck, and your diaphragm. And that location, well, that's our secret back door. That's the clue to how we can consciously take control.
Now I know, this all sounds like it's happening automatically, way below our conscious control. But the whole point of Huberman's work is that we are not just passengers here. We can actually learn to drive the system. So the big question is, how do we reach down and intentionally press that brake pedal when we feel ourselves accelerating into total overwhelm? All right, Section 2, your built-in calming switch. So where is this switch? It turns out we all have a direct physical lever we can pull to control whether we feel alert or calm. And it's something you do thousands of times a day without even thinking about it. It's your breath.
Now, check this out, because this isn't some vague wellness concept, it's straight up mechanics. When you inhale, your diaphragm moves down, which makes a little more space in your chest. Your heart literally expands a tiny bit, and that sends a signal up to your brain to speed up your heart rate. When you exhale, the opposite happens. The diaphragm moves up, the chest gets a little smaller, the heart gets slightly compressed, and the signal to the brain is crystal clear: time to slow down. It is a direct biological link.
So, here's the bottom line. Your breath is the most powerful tool you have to manage your state in real time. By consciously making your exhales longer and slower than your inhales, you are physically telling your brain to pump the brakes. This is not a placebo. It's a direct line into your body's control panel, letting you take the wheel of your own nervous system.
Okay, Section 3, the physiological sigh. So if controlling our breath is the key, what's the most efficient way to do it? Well, that brings us to the single most powerful technique Huberman talks about for calming down fast. It's a breathing pattern your body already knows how to do instinctively. It's called the physiological sigh.
You've done this before. It's that double inhale, long exhale you do naturally after you cry, or sometimes right as you're falling asleep. But you can do it on command anytime you feel stressed. It's simple. First, a deep, full inhale through your nose. Then, when you feel like your lungs are totally full, sneak in one more little sip of air at the top. Then, you just let it all go with a long, slow, full exhale through your mouth.
So why is this one specific pattern so incredibly effective? It's pure physiology. When we get stressed, these tiny little air sacs in our lungs, they're called alveoli, they can actually collapse and flatten out. That double inhale is the fastest way to pop them all back open, maximizing the surface area for oxygen to get in. Then that long, slow exhale lets you dump a maximum amount of carbon dioxide. And that's key because a buildup of CO2 in your blood is one of the main things that triggers feelings of panic. So by getting rid of it, you're telling your brain the emergency is over.
And I love this quote from Huberman. He calls it the fastest, hardwired way to slam the brakes on the stress response. Think about that. This isn't some technique you need to practice for weeks to feel something. You're tapping into a reflex that is already built into your nervous system for this exact purpose.
And the best part is just how fast it works. I mean, the next time you feel that wave of stress coming on, you're sitting in traffic, you just got a frustrating text, just try it. 1 to 3 of these physiological sighs is often all it takes to feel a significant drop in your level of agitation and get you back to a place where you can think clearly. It's an immediate, powerful tool.
All right, let's move on to our final section, Section 4, the emotion equation. Now that we have a tool to control our physical state, how does that connect to what we actually feel emotionally? This is where it all comes together. First things first, we have to remember that those short bursts of stress are actually good for us. That same shot of adrenaline that feels like agitation can also help deploy your immune cells to fight off an infection. It sharpens your focus, getting your brain into what Huberman calls duration path outcome analysis, which is basically a fancy way of saying you get laser focused on a goal. Used correctly, stress is a performance-enhancing tool.
So if our body can be either alert or calm, what makes an emotion feel good or bad? Huberman has this beautiful framework. An emotion is just your brain's interpretation of whether your internal state is a good match for what's happening outside. Think about it. Feeling super agitated and alert when you're trying to sleep feels awful, right? We call that anxiety. It's a mismatch. But feeling that exact same level of alertness right before a big game, that feels incredible. We call it excitement. It's a perfect match.
And that right there is the ultimate lesson from all this. The goal is not to live a life without stress. That's impossible, and frankly, it would be boring. The real goal is to become a skilled operator of your own nervous system. It's about learning how to dial your alertness up when you need to perform and how to dial it way down when you need to recover. It's about matching your internal state to meet the moment. And this is absolutely a learnable skill. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Now you have the tool, the physiological sigh, and you have a new way of thinking about what stress even is. So my question to you is, how will you consciously tune your internal state to better navigate whatever comes your way today? The power, as we've seen, is already built right into you.